All right. Well, take two. So, anywho, I'm just going to start all over. So I wanted to say hi. It has been a minute since we have jumped on here live and got to chat and hang out and everything. And so I wanted to do that because I've been thinking about you guys a lot lately. I have been thinking about kind of where we are and how I can best serve you and what are the needs that we're facing. And I know that our last big talk type thing, we discussed intention. And I just want to remind you again that intention is not some like big out there thing that you do once a year or even right before you get ready to plan something. You know, you set an intention to plan this big thing. Like, intention is something that we do daily. We need to do daily. We need to set our intentions daily, moment by moment and task by task. You don't go fold your laundry. You know, you don't go start your laundry without setting an intention of getting your clothes clean for your family. I mean, it's that simple. And so I hope that we're learning how to take this like big thing and really break it down to our daily lives, and that it is super simple. So before I jump in, give me a shout. Let me know if you're watching live. You can comment #live or #replay if you're watching the replay. Hey, Joy. So I have I've journaled this morning and I was thinking about you guys, and there have been other situations that's come up, and it's just like hammering in. Like, it seems like everything going on in my world right now is just hammering this in. And so what I have found is that oftentimes when God is doing something in my life that it's just on repeat, it's to serve the people in my reach also. And so you have a purpose and you have people in your reach. And we just have to find our voice to be able to speak out to that. So that's why I'm here right now. I titled this little live video, There's Purpose in Motherhood, or Motherhood is a Purpose. And I'm just blown away. Like, God really showed me. So I'm just going to kind of go through. So we're talking about intention, right? And we've said, all right, we have to set intentions. We had the first of the year, all the goal setting things happen. And we're like, word, wellness, worth. We're going to focus on growing in those 3 areas, in the word of God, in our wellness, our physical health and wellness, our mental health and wellness, and our worth, and seeing our worth in Him as women. And we talked about Proverbs 31 and just how amazing that woman is. And all of those things are linked in the announcement post. So if you haven't seen those, if you're new to Empowered Motherhood, then go check out those links. But we have these big things that we're like, yes, all right, we're going to do this. And then COVID hit and our world literally stopped. And we're like, all right, we just have to set our intentions, and we have to get better about thinking in this way versus thinking in that way. And we have to get better at schedules and routines and being intentional with each minute of the day and all of this stuff. And it just seems so big. But how many of us were actually able to spend the last 2 months just taking it all in and actually doing something with it? Or how many of us are like, oh, thank God COVID's over, because I can't do life like that. You know, I mean, we have just, which one are you? You know, which one are you? Were you able to like really dive in on the intention and really set your intentions for each moment and each task, and come out of this on the other side better and stronger and more capable? Let me tell you something. You've got God in you. You've always been capable. We just don't always recognize it. So, taking this big intention idea and breaking it down to it's a moment by moment and it's a task by task thing. When you you're going to find so much more productivity in your life when you can get there. When you can say, hey, I'm doing laundry right now. I'm setting my intention to do laundry right now. Then you're going to get it done. when you're cooking dinner and feeding your family and you're doing that right now and you're setting that intention, you're going to get it done. You're going to get it done better and quicker, and it's just going to be easier. You're going to get it done with more grace and ease. If you're setting the intention of it as bath time, setting the intention of it as time to clean up this house, setting the intention of whatever it is, like when you set that intention and you work from that intention, no matter how big or small the task may seem, you will get it done with more grace and ease, and you will be so thankful you did. But my thing as I was thinking and praying through this is, we have these big intentions. We're talking about setting intentions, even in the day by day and the moment by moment. When your intention is clear, the mechanisms appear. Ooh, I like that. Yeah. Yes, I like that a lot. It comes to you. Okay, so we have these like big intentions, right? And then we're working on breaking them down into small. But the one thing I noticed, like, people just want to jump into, all right, I'm going to set an intention. But and after I found the words for it, it was just like, duh, is we have to decide something before we can set an intention about something. So before you can set an intention to do your laundry, you have to decide that you are going to do your laundry. And Napoleon Hill talks about the purpose and the power in deciding definitely. So just like what Joy commented on here, when the intention is clear, the mechanisms appear. Yes. All right. Yes. When we decide definitely, our brain goes to work for us, and therefore we can set clearer intentions. So when we decide that now is the time to do the laundry, I'm saying that because that is what I'm doing today. I am doing laundry today. I am doing laundry even so much so that here in a little bit when I go pick up my Walmart grocery order, I have hangers on there because I have to have hangers before I can do any more laundry. We are in that space in our family at this moment. So anyways, that's a side note. Let me get back to it. We have to decide definitely. And if you think about what a decision really is, there's no way that we can decide any other way except for definitely. Because if we decide or try to decide any other way except for in a definite way, it's not really a decision, is it? No. It's a thinking or well, I might. But the moment we actually make a decision to do or be or fill in the blank, any decision, then it becomes definite. And the more definite we can make that decision in our mind, the more we are clear on that intention, the more we find things just start coming to us for it. And so when we get in trouble, when our minds are drifting, when they're just left to roam, when they are just kind of idle, right? We get into trouble when our minds are kind of idle. Which one? It's Outwitting the Devil. Okay, if you have not ever read Napoleon Hill, you can order it online or you can maybe find it at a library. I don't know. Go look and try to find Outwitting the Devil by Napoleon Hill and read it. It'll just mess your brain all kinds of up in a good way. So, but we have to decide definitely, and that's exactly the thing. We can divvy up our lives, and you've heard people do this. We can divvy up our lives in a lot of different ways, in different categories, and some people break it down to 3 or 5 or whatever. But the way that's been most helpful for me is to kind of divide our lives into these categories: career or purpose, your faith, your family, your finances, your health and wellness, your relationships, and then joy. How much do you enjoy life? Your joy. How much fun are you having in your day? Because nobody wants a life that they don't love. Nobody wants a life that they're not happy in, and that there's not the fickle emotion of happiness, but the fruit of the Spirit, the joy, right? So those are very important. Don't overlook any of those. We're relationship beings. We were created to have a relationship with the Almighty and with each other. But all of those areas are key in having a healthy life. But in each of these areas, and then together as a whole, we're either growing or we're dying. So we're like, oh, we're just shelving this for right now. We're not going to spend a lot of time in this area of life at the moment. But the truth is, we're either growing or we're dying in our relationships. We're either growing our relationship or those relationships are dying. They are our family. And we've talked about defining what a successful family is for each of our homes. We're either growing in that or we're dying in it. Nothing remains stagnant. And if you really look at stagnant water, it's death. Ain't nothing living in stagnant, nasty water. Okay, so where there's not movement and growth, there's death. That's the end of story. It's one or the other. And I feel like we've accepted this gray area when there's not really a gray area. We're either growing or we're dying in it. So, you guys, many of you might have heard, just drop in comments. What do you think of when you think of career, job, purpose? A lot of the times we think outside of the home, right? A lot of the times, well, I used to. So since becoming a stay-at-home mom, it's like, oh, so do you work or are you just a stay-at-home mom? Have you always been a stay-at-home mom or have you worked before? And I'm like, let me tell you something, honey. All of you who are stay-at-home moms, you know what I'm talking about. And I'm not in any way ditching mothers who work outside of the home. I was a mom who worked outside the home for 5 years. And they're both, you're serving your family, right? But what the complaint that it comes is because when a woman is a stay-at-home mom, it is seen as she is not providing for her family. And you guys, it keeps coming back to me, and it just keeps coming back to me. Being a mom is a calling, it is a purpose, and it is a career. That's being a mom, okay? We can have the career of motherhood and still make money to help and provide for our family. We can have both, right? We can have both. It's not one or the other. And I know working moms, we feel like that we're in limbo too when we're a working mom outside the home, because it's like, oh, I'm either working and providing financially for my family or I'm taking care of my family. I can't do both. It's one or the other. But no, that is such a lie. That is such a lie. And it doesn't matter if your work and that providing financially for your family is coming from outside your home or inside your home. Because guess what? It can be either. No one says that and people do say, I don't know why people say, but I don't think it should be said, that being a stay-at-home mom means that you do not provide financially, you do not provide some sort of financial aspect for your family, and that working outside of the home is the only way to work. How does that make sense? I think we've seen in our shift of our world atmosphere in the last couple of months that there are so many things that are possible that we never thought were possible before. And so I hope that you're seeing that. There's a belief that you have to be one or the other, of either a working outside of the home mom or a stay-at-home mom who doesn't bring financial profit, financial value to your family. And guys, we can't survive without money. We can't. I wish we could. But there's been a long years and years and years worth of belief systems in the whole money realm that God has been working on me through, because I came out of I was actually probably in high school when I was already like, money is stupid. This is ridiculous. Why do you have to have it? Why can't we just go back to the barter system where we're trading services for services or things for things or whatever? But then I was like, well, what would I have to offer anyways? So whatever. This is the currency of our land today. It may not always be. Who knows? But it is today. And so I was, again, in my reading and prayer time, and there's a devotion that pointed out about castles and their queens. And I just wanted to share some of the stuff that I learned with you because I didn't know it. Did you know that the queens, or the ladies, so they were lords and ladies, right? Kings and queens, lords and ladies, and all of the people with all of the titles back then. But the ladies of the home, their responsibility was to run that entire estate. Some of these castles were a big home. Some of these castles or these manors were so big that villages and their townspeople lived inside of the walls of these castles. So the lady's responsibility was to run this entire estate, right? It could have been massive, or it could have been a very big home. I'm going to tell you one thing right now. Going from our home that my family outgrew to the trailer that we were in for a month, and into this home, there's more work in this home. Just for the simple fact that it is larger, because there is more space. There's more work. So these homes, these ladies took care of a lot more than what many of us take care of. But they decided what food was to be served, the supplies that needed to be bought. They decided what crops to plant, what crops to harvest, what crops to distribute and where. They decided the clothes to buy or fix. They decided, or they would preside and rule in the cases that were presented in their court. And in the husband's absences, she would take a military role. She was not afraid to fight for her family, for her home. Guys, the Proverbs 31 woman is very real. It's not some myth, something that's out there that's unreachable and untouchable. The Proverbs 31 woman is very real. And I feel like it's been a lie of the enemy to lessen and to quiet her. And he has consumed many of us with that quiet, with that lessening of Proverbs 31, with that mediocrity, the watering down, that feeling of just existing. You guys, it is our responsibility. It is our responsibility to allow the Holy Spirit and the power of God to rectify the Proverbs 31 woman inside of us. It's your responsibility to allow God to resurrect that Proverbs 31 woman inside of you. And it's my responsibility to allow God to resurrect that Proverbs 31 woman inside of me. And it's my responsibility. No one will do it for me. And if I look at think, you guys think with me, vision, just imagine with me. If you were the Proverbs 31 woman that you were created to be, to help be that support, that strength to your husband, and to own and care for and run your home and your family, what would your home and life look like? What would your home and life look like if you did that? If you were in control with the Holy Spirit, right? Because we're not doing any of this on our own. What would your life look like if you allowed that Proverbs 31 woman to live and breathe through you, right? Then think about the flip side of it. What would your home and your family life look like if you just existed? if you just did the bare minimum, if you just had an okay relationship with your husband, if you were just there and you weren't that strong support for him like you were created to be, if you just barely got by, just barely took care of your family. There's a whole lot of the word just in there. And we weren't just anything. We aren't made to be just anything. We are made with a divine, a supernatural purpose and powerful calling of God. And being a mother, being a mom does not lessen that purpose. So, if your heart has skipped a beat in just a moment of this, in just a moment of this video, drop a comment. Drop a comment below and tell me. Because I want to know who I'm talking to. I want to know who's beating on the same wavelength as I am. I want to know who's ready to run with me. I want to know who's ready to go on this journey with me. And if that's you, if you're ready, we're going to do 1, 2, 3. All right. So what I do with my middle child all the time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, we're going to define. So you have to do this. 1, define where you are in those areas of life. Your career, purpose, field, whatever you want to call it. That title can simply be mom. Right? That title can have another title that is outside of the 4 walls of your home. You and God work that out between you. So define where you are in that, in your faith, in your family, in your finances, in your health and wellness, in your relationships, and in your joy. Define where you are in those. Get real. Get real with yourself. We can't lie to God and we can't hide from God. He knows it all. We try to lie to ourselves. We try to lie to ourselves. So it's time for us to get real with ourselves and to define truthfully where we are in those areas. And then number 2, we're going to identify our heart desires for what our life looks and feels like. So number 2, after you define where you are in those areas of life, identify your heart's desires for those things to look and feel like. So for those areas, define what your heart's desire is. Identify what your heart's desire is for those areas to look and feel like. And then lastly, number 3, decide if you're going to join me on this journey. Decide that. You can, because oftentimes we do. We'll define where we are and we'll identify where we want to be, and then we don't ever go anywhere. We don't ever go anywhere. So the third thing you have to do is decide, because that is an action. You have to make a decision, and you have to decide if you're going to go on this journey with me. And then if you are, I want to know. Comment. Tell me. We'll talk. There's all kinds of things that are made available for us, and I am mapping out this journey for us. I'm mapping it out right now, and I'm praying that God would lead us through it. So I can't wait to journey with you guys. Okay, so I can't wait to hear from you. If you came in late or you're watching the replay, just make sure you can, if you came in late, you can watch the replay and watch all of it. But we're going to make some decisions. Or we're not. Or you're not. I am. I'm making some decisions. Because I feel now more than ever the pressure and the need for that powerful woman that God created me to be, to rise up and to offer strength and support to my husband, to be the one that crafts and directs and teaches my family and provides for while doing it. So We will prayerfully see where this journey takes us, and I look forward to hearing from you. So as you go through, drop in the comments kind of where you can define where you are. And I'm working on something to maybe make that a little bit easier for you. But here's the thing, just get a journal and get with God and write it down. While you're doing the dishes, while you're doing the laundry, folding the clothes, talk to him. His Spirit will talk to you. Crystal Kennedy shared, and so you can search her name in this group, but she shared a post, and it was about how God meets with women where they are. And I cannot describe to you the fullness of that truth, because so many times I've been like, God, I haven't had time to go lock myself in the closet with you and just be with you and have that time with you and blah, 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 right? And I'll be doing the dishes or the laundry or washing a baby or fixing dinner or vacuuming my floor, and God meets with me and he says, hey, this is where I'm hanging out with you. I'm coming to you. I don't expect you to come to me. So I cannot wait to hear from you. Again, if you can't tell, I am like thoroughly excited about journeying with you guys and growing together. And if you know some other mamas that are ready to get on board, that are ready to own their motherhood and own that Proverbs 31 woman that is like calling forth inside of them, like begging you, say, please let me out. Add them to this group, tag them in this video, and let's go, right? Let's go. So I will talk to you soon. I'm going to get off here and go do some more laundry. Bye, guys.